everyone. Myself Manju Sharma from Suresh Ganwar University, Jagatpura, Jaipur. The department is School of Agriculture, and today we are going to discuss about diseases of coffee. So, uh, let's start. The scientific name of coffee, that is Coffee arabica, and the family is Rubiaceae. Coffee is a genus of flowering plants whose seeds, called coffee beans, are used to make various coffee beverages and products. Coffee ranks as one of the world's most valuable and widely traded commodity crops and is an important export product of several countries. So the diseases of coffee, in which coffee rust or oriental leaf disease. So the causal organism is Hamileia vastatrix. Their economic importance, the histological importance of this disease in causing destruction of coffee plantation in Sri Lanka since 1867 to 1893. Severe epidemics in Sri Lanka in 1868, and in India the disease was first recorded in the year 1870. But in Sri Lanka, basically this disease which seen during the 1867, so that time the disease was epidemic. Epidemic, that means like it was spread only in a particular area or in a country during 1868, but after that it was in 1870 also spread in India. So now we can say that like from India, if it will be seen in other countries, then it will be going to pandemic. Okay, but whenever it was only in Sri Lanka, then this disease was epidemics in Sri Lanka in 1868, or in India the disease was first recorded in the year 1870 and occurs every year. So it occurs in Karnataka, Kerala, and even in Madhya Pradesh. So basically, firstly, this disease which is spread in these states like Karnataka, Kerala, and Madhya Pradesh. The symptoms of the disease are small, pale yellow spots on the lower surface of infected leaves, orange yellow spore mass, orange yellow spore mass appears, and defoliation and dieback, because firstly the symptom which will be basically seen on the leaves. So due to the spores, there will be defoliation and dieback, so results in serious crop loss and causes fluctuation in production, because if leaves are not there, then basically there will be the problem in their photosynthesis or to produce the food. Okay, so if it's not proper, that means the fruit formation or the product formation which will be less, or the yield will be less. Like these are the symptoms of this disease. So firstly, it will be looks like yellow in color, and after that it will be make different types of spots, and these spots will be enlarged, and this kind the whole leaf will be infected by the pathogen, and after that it will be defoliate. survival and spread. Primary survival like mycelium or uridospore in infected leaves, and the secondary is the uridospore dispersed by wind and water. Like in primary spread, basically it will be in infected leaves, and after that or after infection in the leaves, basically it will be dispersed by the wind and water also. Favorable conditions like uridospores germinate only in free moisture. Thick canopy of shade prevents the readily spread of the spores and thus the secondary spread of the disease. So rainy water and heavy dew and severe from July to December. So these all are the favorable conditions for the pathogen. Their management, like we have to collect the diseased leaves and destroy. Spray the bushes once with Bodex mixture 5% or copper oxychloride 5% like 0.5% and 0.25% 2 to 3 times during the monsoon. So basically the Bodex mixture which will be very effective for the particular disease. Then spray of triadimephone 0.05%. Then black rot. Black rot disease, the causal organism is Coleroga roxia. The economic importance, like in India, it occurs in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. In South India, the disease is severe only in those areas growing with coffee arabica. It is influenced by southwest monsoon period from June to September. So their symptoms are like blackening and rotting of affected leaves, young twigs and barriers. Affected leaves get detached and hang down by means of slimy fungal strand, defoliation and berry drop occur. Like that is the black rot disease, because basically the symptoms which will be black in color and they will be showing as a black color. Here you can see the symptoms. Like here, some beans are green in color, but some are black in color. That's why that is called black rot disease. Then mode of spread. Mode of spread and survival. The pathogen penetrates the leaves through the stomata on the lower side and the hyphae inward intercellular in the palisade tissue. So the fungus mostly spreads by contact from leaf to leaf through the vegetative mycelium, and The pathogen is spread through infected plant debris. Mycelium lies in twigs throughout the year. So basically, the pathogen which can invade the leaves through the stomata, because whenever the stomata's opening will be there, that time the pathogen those can easily invade inside the plant, and after that it will be infected. So the fungus mostly is spread by contact from leaf. So the pathogen is spread through infected plant debris, and the mycelium lies in twig throughout year. Their management, like remove and burn affected parts, apply 1% of Bodex mixture close to the close to the southwesterly monsoon if needed. Center the coffee bushes, regulate the overhead canopy. The next disease is berry blotch disease. The causal organism is Sarcoispora coffeocola. The symptoms are like necrotic spot on the exposed surface of green berries, enlarge and cover the major portion. Fruit skin shrivels and sticks fast. Like these are the symptoms. So in this, basically the symptoms those are not showing completely black color, and the leaves will be also infected here. Mode of spread and survival. The pathogen is seed-borne and conidia are spread by wind. Management: spray 1% Bodex mixture during June and late August. Maintain medium shade overhead. Like these are the symptoms. So basically the beans which will be infected, they are showing different colors. Their mode of spread and survival. The fungus occurs as a saprophyte on dead tissue. On the other layer, the fungus occurs as a saprophyte in the sense whenever the tissue or the particular plant or host which will be completely dry. After that, the pathogen those can survive easily on their dead material. So, on dead tissue, on the outer layer of the bark, which provide the major source of the inoculum. So, it release large number of waterborne conidia during the wet season. Conidia are spread by rainwater percolating throughout the canopy and rain splash throughout the canopy and rain splash can disperse conidia between trees. So, their mode of spread and survival, the pathogen is seaborne and the conidia are spread by wind. Their management, like spray of 1% Bodex mixture during June and late August, maintain medium shade overhead. After that, dieback or anthracnose. The causal organism is the Collectotrichum coffinum. The symptoms are like on leaves, circular to grayish spots of 2 to 3 meter in diameter, and on berries, small dark colored sucker spores are found. Beans become brown, die back, and also go and also occur. So basically, like on the leaves, the circular or grayish spot will be there, and the diameter will be 2 to 3 meter. So on berries that means we are talking about the beans. So on berries, small dark colored sucker spores are formed, and beans become brown, and then dieback also occur. Like these are the symptoms of the disease. Mode of spread and survival. The fungus occurs as a saprophyte or dead tissue on the outer layer of the bark, which provides the major source of inoculum. Inoculum, that means a particular part of the pathogen by which it will be cause the disease, or the inoculum which have the capacity to infect the plants. So it release large numbers of waterborne conidia during the wet season. Conidia are spread by rainwater percolating through the canopy, and rain splash can disperse conidia between trees. So long distance dispersal occurs primarily by the carriage of conidia on passive vectors such as birds, machinery, etc. And their management is spraying of Mencoza 0.25%. So this is all about the diseases of coffee or the major diseases of coffee. Next, we are going to talk about diseases of papaya. So here in diseases of papaya, we will discuss about foot rot, stem rot, which goes by the Phythium ephenidatum. The second is the mosaic, which goes by papaya mosaic virus, leaf curl, which goes by tobacco leaf curl virus on Nicotiana virus 10, and the fourth is the papaya ring spot virus and then anthracnose. So let's start with the foot rot disease or stem rot of papaya. The causal organism is Phythium ephenidermatum. So the water soaked patches developed on the stem at the ground level. The patches enlarged and diseased tissue turn brown and rot. So because of rotting, the basal portion of stem, so the basal portion of the stem is greater, affecting the upward flow of water and nutrients and weakening the plant. Internal tissue of bark appear dry and give honeycomb appearance, and the infection is spread to roots and caused decay. Terminal leaves turn yellow, whiter and drop. Fruits shrivel and drop off, so the entire plant topples over and dies. These are the symptoms. So basically, firstly, the infection which will be spread to the roots, and that's why it is also called the decays. Terminal leaves turn yellow, whiter, and then it will be drop. Fruits will be shrivel, and then they will be also droop off, and entire plant pathogen over, and then they will be die. Like these are the symptoms, and the disease name is fruit rot or stem rot of papaya. So the stem will be hollow from inside, and then it will be fall down. Pathogen like mycelium is septate, brown, and much branched. The sclerotia are black, spherical to irregular shape, and produce in abundance. Spread and survival. The primary spread like primary oospores and saprophytic mycelium is also mycelium in soil and infected seedlings transplanted in the field, in the main field. The secondary is like zoospores through the irrigation water, because the zoospore those have the flagella. That's why they can easily move, and they will be flow with the water. So their favorable conditions like appears from June to August. Younger seedlings are more susceptible than older ones. So severity increases. Younger seedlings are more susceptible than older ones. So the severity increase with intensity of rainfall and high soil moisture. So these all are the favorable conditions for the pathogen. Their management, like seedling, should be raised in well-drained nursery area or in potryads in modern nurseries in protected polyhouse. Uproot the diseased seedling plants, like uproot the disease seedling and burn. Uproot, that means we have to just remove the plant with the root from the particular place if the plant is infected. So they drench the base of stem with coke 0.25% or the metal exile or mancozeb. It is 1% of Bordeaux mixture. After that, pathogen like mycelium is septate, brown and much branched. So the sclerotia are black, spherical to irregular shape and produced in abundance. So the survival and spread of the pathogen like oospore and saprophytic mycelium in soil and in infected seedling transplanting in the main field. So their favorable conditions like appears from June 6 to August. Younger seedlings are more susceptible than older ones. Severity increases with intensity of rainfall and then high soil moisture. Their management, like seedling, should be raised in well-drained nursery area or in courtyards in modern nurseries in protected poly houses. So we have to uproot the diseased plant or the seedling, drench the base of stem with coke 0.25% or metal exile plus mancozeb, that is percent. Then the mosaic papaya, mosaic virus, their economic importance. So in India, first reported from Mumbai and Pune and occurs more in central India. So if the basic disease which only happen in India or only cause in India, then we can say that that is the endemic. Okay. So first of all, in India, it was reported. It is reported from Mumbai to Pune, and 90 to 100% damage occurs in severe cases. Virus is a potrovirus with the long flacious rod-shaped particles. ro- Rod-shaped particles having single-stranded RNA as a genome. Their symptoms like mottling and puckering of leaves, especially the young ones, water-shocked chlorotic spores on tender stem and petioles. So the lamina is reduced and malformed and are often modify so the tendril like structure. giving a shoes stirring appearance, and there will be a decline and marked reduction in growth of diseased plants. So the older leaves will be fall down and a small tuft of younger leaves is left at the top in upright position. Then the fruits develop immature circular water shocked spores with concentric ring, and the fruit size is severely reduced with the deformed shape. Like here, the disease symptoms are there. So the leaves of the papaya, those are shrink, and the size of the leaves are small as compared to healthy plants or healthy leaves. And in another one, the infected fruits on which spores are there. So the virus particles are rod shaped, and the thermal inactivation point of the virus lies between 54 and 60 degrees centigrade. Survival and spread, like primary virus particles on affected plants. The secondary is the aphids, mainly Myzus persicki, and the other species like Apis malvi, Apis gossypi, Asif medicagenes, then Rauplalocyphum medis and Microcyphum solonifolil. Other host, there is the Cucumis sativus, Cucurbita pepo, Cucurbita mexico, Citrulus vulgaris, Lufa, Acetangula, Lingenaria, Caesaria, Cephalar, and some ornamental plants. So, by which these all can spread. Here, management disease free seedling raised in modern insect free net house or poly house, because if they will be not insect free, then they will be also cause the disease, or it will be called insect bite. So there should be rogging and destruction of diseased plant. Raising barrier crops like sorghum on the boundaries of the field, because if we will raise the sorghum, then it will be protect the main crop. That's why we are saying that barrier crops, because the barrier crops by which we can easily protect the main crop from the pathogen. So vector control with systemic insecticide like dimethoate or methyl as dimeton. And carica cauliflower is present. Then the vector control with systemic insecticide like dimethoate and methylase dimetone. Carica qualiflora is resistant and the growing transgenic, that is core protein mediate. Papaya varieties like Sun UP and Rainbow should be grown. Then the leaf curl, tobacco leaf curl virus or Nicotiana virus 10. So the virus is a Graminevirus virus with germinate spherical particles having single stranded DNA. Severe curling, crinkling, and distortion of leaves, which are accompanied by vein clearing, and there is the reduction of leaf lamina. Leaf margins are rolled downward and inward, inward in the form of inverted cup. Inverted cup like it will be just opposite. Then curl leaves have thickened veins. Leaves become leaves have thickened veins. Leaves become leathery, brittle, and petiolous. So the curl leaves have thickened veins. Leaves become leathery, brittle, and petiole are twisted. Then the diseased plants fail to flower or bear any fruits, and in advanced stage, defoliation take place and the growth is arrested. So these are the symptoms like you can see here. The size of the leaves is small as compared to healthy plants, and there is the wrinkling in the fruit. Basically, the diseases those caused by the virus, in which basically the symptoms are same, like the leaves will be curly. Then their survival and spread, primary virus particles on affected plants, and the secondary are like whitefly, Bemesa tabaci. Virus also infects like tobacco, tomato, tobacco, sunhemp, chili, petunia, ginny, datura, chili, petunia, ginnia, datura, starmonium, hollyhock, cape, and the gooseberry, etc. Like these are the another plant which can also infect by the same pathogen. So their management like disease free seedlings, rogging and destruction of diseased plants and other hosts, rogging and destruction of diseased plants and other host species, erecting yellow sticky trap for whitefly trapping, vector control with monocrotophs at 1.6 milliliter per liter or dimethoate or metacystox at 2 ml per liter. Then the papaya ring spot virus. Like these all are the viral diseases, but they will be cause different types of diseases, and their symptom will be also different. So the earliest symptom on papaya are a yellowing and vein clearing of the young leaves. So this is followed by a very conspicuous yellow molting of the leaves, of the young leaves, and this is followed by a very conspicuous yellow molting of the leaves, and sometime severe blistering and leaf distortion will be there. Dark green streaks and ring also appear in the leaf stalks and stems. So the disease derives its name from the stirring symptoms that develop on fruit. These consist of concentric rings and spots or she-shaped marking will be there, or darker green than the background green fruit in color. So the symptoms persist on the ripe fruit as darker orange, brown rings. Vigor of trees and fruit set is usually reduced depending on the age of the plant when infected. So the fruit quality, particularly flavor, is also adversely affected. Like these are the symptoms. So there is a ring spot on the mature fruit, and in another one ring spot on green fruit. So we can easily identify the disease. Thank you.